Hello. Mm. What you eating? Crackers.
Don't worry. As long as we're together, we can do anything. Deja. A will of metal. Turn over this eternal pit. Light up the dawn. Mountains roar, crackers fly. Earth shatters, crumble.
Yeah, just sunlight. Cause I'll probably sleep in a few hours.
We can do anything. Memories waiting to be woken up by a shooting star. Remember me with love. May world bearing ignite the dawn. Don't blink. May you fulfill love's promise with me. Rewrite destruction with me. Soaring above the lands. This is permanent.
Coming back to HSR's Himiko Nova cheap. Yeah. If you have Welt and everybody has Armsy, that's the core of her team done. And if you have PT, that's literally her entire sustain team. Sunday replaces who? Who do you think? Armsy. E1 Welt only? It's fine. That's enough. Is her LC close to a must pull? Her E1 and E2 are better. But her Lycone is also a really good jump. I'm eating crackers.
If nothing else remains, I should save my strength.
What do you think about HSR versus Enfield? Huh? Why would I care about that? Can I just get blessed on a single pull? Oh man. I'm gonna have to wait. Like, whatever. Um, hello. Wow. Nothing. Nothing again. Oh, it's because it's a 5 roll? Maybe. Bro. Oh my god. I just generated like 60 of you. I didn't get a single even piece to roll on. Tragic. Fuck. I don't care for gotcha drama. Um, I had no idea you could salvage enhanced relics now. Are you serious? Bronte, this has been a thing for like a year. No way you didn't know. That's crazy. I didn't play during 3.0, 3.4. Well, unfortunate. Probably missed it, yeah. It's a strat that people use if they have like a shit ton of relic XP laying around. They'll plus 15 a relic and then they'll sacrifice it, and you get 400 fragments back to generate 4 relics. Feel stupid now? I mean, at least now you know. Real question, are you enjoying HSR? Um, Not really. Like, if you're talking about as a game in general, it's not that I think it's bad, but like it's just uninteresting. My main drive for playing these games has always been the characters. And HSR, I don't know. I fuck with a lot of HSR's characters, basically all of them. So, that's like that's what drives me to play the game. Well, also it's convenience. That too. Like, this is the most convenient game I've ever played in my life, which makes it easier for me to come back. Like, I've always talked about this. I think WUA as like a game is way better than HSR. I mean, I've had this take for like the last 2+ years, but HSR, it's like much easier to be consistent with it because it doesn't require anywhere near as much effort as an open world. I am unapologetically lazy. Also, I find WUA team building to be boring. HSR's is really boring these days too, but like HSR has 10 times the generalist supports that WUA does, so you can still have like some fun shenanigans with certain teams. Oh yeah, and Novas. Nova flares gave me a lot more faith in this game. No joke. Yeah. Like, the one thing that WUA has over HSR, I guess, is like the mechanical gameplay, where like some teams can thrive a lot better in quick swap. But like the thing is, 90% of the time quick swap makes the difference of like only 10% DPS. Like, you could literally get like 4 relic upgrades in HSR and make up that difference. Why do people say HSR isn't the most free-to-play friendly gacha out of the main games? It's super free-to-play? Um... Hmm. It depends. If it weren't for the free 5 stars that HSR gives, HSR would probably be dead last. But because of the free 5 stars, HSR is either number 1 or like maybe tied with WUWA, depending on whichever you prefer. Yeah, like this game has the worst HP inflation and power creep, but the thing is, a lot of people don't recognize that that doesn't mean it's necessarily not free to play friendly because they give so many free 5 stars that you can easily catch up. A good example is, let's say you've been playing since they started giving free 5 stars. E1 Archer, Nova Sparkle, um, Rin, plus Don Hung PT, that is 1 cost. Gilgamesh with RMC, M-Blade, and Welt or Huohuo, that is also 1 cost. Like, that's 2 teams that clear the endgame content. Um, ZZZ gives lots of pulls, free 5 stars, and most of the characters are skippable. I mean, yeah. The thing when it comes to WUWA that gives it the advantage isn't usually the pull count. It's the fact that their character banner is 10 less pity and their weapon banner is guaranteed. So even if they don't give as many pulls as ZZZ, they can basically be equal anyways. because it requires less pulls to get certain things. And they have a sequence shop, although admittedly their sequences are pretty mid. Usually you have to get to S3 for the juicy stuff. Would you say the best sustain team for Saber plus Gil is Saber, Gilga, Nova, Sunday, and Huo? Yeah. Now, here's the thing. We don't know what the sustains look like in this version yet. So they could be like better than Huo. But with current information, yeah, that would be it. Do you think Emblade and Himiko ruin the game balance? No. I've already talked about this before. The Himiko glaze is like so fucking overrated. She has like no vertical investment options on any of her teammates. And then on top of this, all of this is only possible because of the existence of E4 Welt and not anything to actually do that's special with Himiko. You put E4 Welt in any team and the team's damage doubles. And that's why she's able to hit these record numbers. But if you actually look at her in a sustain team and without E4 Welt, like you can still have Welt, but like let's say Welt is E2, it's still the strongest sustain team. But it's not by this like double number that people are making up in sustainless teams that only last a cycle, right? Like the sustain team, it's stronger than Silverwolf, it's stronger than Emblade and stuff, but like one upgrade to the follow-up team changes that, and it's fixed. Silverwolf gets one upgrade, it's fixed. And Silverwolf has better vertical investment options. Like, it's just so over-exaggerated. This is just Phanon all over again, where people, like, over-glazed him and were like, oh, it's over for Cassie, without coming to the realization that Cassie would get more supports, and her vertical investment with every teammate made her the strongest team. Maybe because she hasn't gotten a dedicated support? Brother, who's the dedicated support? Like, that's the thing. She's literally made on the restriction that she strictly synergizes with Astral Express members only. She may get one, because Mortis said that he believes she'll get one in this version. But that's it. She gets one upgrade. Silverwolf has Sparksy. Silverwolf has Yao Guang in both of their vertical investments. Silverwolf gets Pearl in her vertical investments. You're still gonna be like using a welt on fucking Himiko's team. I think that's Cope, Ash, and Blade are already top teams and Aventurine hasn't released yet. You think that's fine? Bro, like, are you slow? Like, no offense. Like, you could use this same argument in version 3 because of the Hyacine and Trivi wheelchair. Like, it's the same. Nothing's changed. It's the same shit over and over again. Least mean Gabby to tactician response. I mean, he's trying to be disingenuous and paint it as if version 4's meta and the way it's going is completely different and significantly more predatory than ever before. But it's legit the exact same. That's why I'm confused. Like, it's taking the exact. Keep in mind, version 4 or version 3 has like minor power creep at the beginning, right? But teams aren't finished. The Herda is getting glazed to the high heavens. This is the best DPS in the game. No one can make someone better than Thurda. Thurda gets Tribby. Thurda gets Anoxa. Oh my god, Thurda's so good. Aglaea's good because she has good E1 investment. Aglaea's better than Cassie. Oh my god, Cassie's bricked. Cassie gets Hyacine. Cassie gets Evernight. Phanon releases. Oh, Phanon's the new best DPS. Because Phanon is the strongest in sustainless zero cycles at low cost. And Cassie isn't. Now Cassie has the better vertical investment. Cassie's team, like, it's all the same. Like, it's just all the fucking same. It's just with different characters. We don't know anything about anyone after 4.4? Yes, but I'd rather go off of what the most reliable leaker in the entirety of the space has given info for over someone saying, oh, this could happen, oh, that could happen, based off of nothing. You know? Like, if there's a solid foundation between the logic and reasoning for why someone holds said opinion, I don't mind it and I'll listen to it. But like 90% of this is like, oh, this might happen. She might get all these, like, where do you even fit giving Himiko all these after sales equivalent to Silverwolf? You don't really, in my opinion. Like, there's nowhere for it to go. Like, she might get one dedicated support plus Nova Sunday. I don't see it going any further than that, personally. And also, I always have to repeat this. Every single version, every time. Since Pentagony, people have been doubting this one truth that has still stood the test of time to today. Stop underestimating the Annie character shilling. I beg. People always fall for this. Oh, Acheron and Firefly and the Super Break team is so strong. Where's Acheron's dedicated support? Right? Oh, Cassie, you're getting mogged by a Glaeon release. Oh, Phanon's now better than you in low cost of stainless zero cycles. What are you gonna do? Oh, you're a flop, Cassie. You're not like Acheron, right? Like, none of these characters are getting ditched. They're not getting ditched. And Himiko is not going to be this all supreme DPS who is fucking like 50% stronger than everybody else either. It only seems that way currently.
Serenity is before me. Watch over you and guide you on your path.
Thus our fates become one. All light shall be revealed.
Mortis never said that Himiko won't be her dedicated DPS. They just said she's best in slot and mono rem. See, this is the thing. People get an inch and they take a mile with like their head cannons. Like, you're twisting. This person said this, but they didn't say that this won't happen. You know? Like that's the logic being used here. And I personally am not someone who uses that type of logic. You know? I wouldn't be surprised if you could use Robin SP, considering she sounds more like an RMC upgrade, but she'd have to count as an Astral Express member to really be all that for Himiko, in my opinion. I notice this. I don't care, bro. I'm not gonna go through this entire thing. Nobody understands how insanely synergistic elation units are by being paired with just other elation units. It's literally the same thing as Cassie Hyacine. People will say it isn't because, like, oh, it's not an HP scaler who can benefit from heals, but, like, it is. Elation is the only path in this game where you get so many inherent benefits from just being paired with another Elation character. Um, oh shit, I didn't use that stuff.
Serenity is before me. I will watch over you and guide you on your path.
I'm just saying it's possible she may be for both. Yes, maybe. But even in that, what I feel like is an unlikely case, Himiko is not going to be the strongest DPS of this version. Like, it's so over exaggerated. I guarantee you when Avon comes out for this follow-up team, the follow-up team will be able to do probably near the same damage as current Himiko. The same thing applies to Silver Wolf when she gets her character. Nihilux, if she's a main DPS, like some leaks suggested, Nihilux will probably, there's a higher chance that Nihilux is the strongest team by the end of this version because she's later. Why am I just not getting characters anymore?
It's of no consequence.
Thus our fates become one. All light shall be revealed.
Serenity is before me. I will watch over you and guide you on your path.
Have you seen the Himiko loop? I don't care about Himiko. And I don't care about loops. It's useless, because they're gonna get nerfed no matter what. It's like, Some random person coming up to you and saying they're gonna give you $1 million and actually falling for it.
Thus our fates become one.
The main push stuff is a scam? Nope, it's not. Aglaya main said the same thing when Cassie didn't have Evernight and Cyrene yet. And oh boy, do they regret it. Instant fucking karma. Evanesia mains are gonna be in the exact same situation as Aglaya mains. They're all trying to make fun of Silverwolf right now without realizing that a speed support doesn't do much for Evanesia while it does fucking miracles for Silverwolf. So if they make an Elation speed support, Silverwolf would just skyrocket. I haven't seen a single RMC this entire time. Still no RMC, amazing. Relation speed support puts Silverwolf to 300 speed. 300 speed doesn't matter. It's like 260 something that she needs to hit, which is 100% possible with a speed support. 260 something and she gets 4 turns in a cycle. And she maxes out her elation boost with speed, I think. If a main push character needs 8+ cost to be better than 4 to 5 cost teams, then I'm sorry, they are in fact an elaborate scam. I mean, that doesn't apply to like any of 3.x's main pushes though. That's why like this argument doesn't make sense. Unless you're comparing 3.x teams to the 4.x ones, then yeah, it would be valid. But then the 4.x main pushes end up being better. So it's like, you know. Yeah, like there is a massive benefit towards your team scaling significantly better with vertical investment if you are someone who's into that. Because it's just a fact. Cassie's full team optimally vertically invested in comparison to like any other Ampho team, the higher in cost you go, the more exponential the gap becomes. Like, it's disgusting. Cassie's team goes from not being in like the top 3 best low cost zero cyclers, right, from Ampho, because you have Phanon, you have Anoxa, and you have Archer, to completely blowing out every team in the game. Iceland has that E1 and she's not a main push, Dot is not in the best scenario outside of their E1s. Like they have good E1 verticals. And then when you go outside of E1 verticals and you go further into cost for a Dot team, it just falls off astronomically. Evernight is not a main push. Evernight was made for a main push, which automatically boosted the strength of her kit. And also, there's no point in bringing up Eva, because once again, you can only bring up Eva currently while Silverwolf is missing a speed support. Eva isn't going to get any dedicated supports. Silverwolf will. Nihilux might as well. That's the difference between main pushes and people who just leech supports off of the main pushes.
If nothing else remains, I should save my strength.
I think Anoxa is probably the best example I can use. I'm someone who has an E6 Anoxa. He's the best example I can use of someone overhyping a character because of low cost zero cycles. But when you actually start to look at like higher investment levels, you realize how badly a character can fall off. Like Anoxa's team verticals being so underwhelming, including his own, at these low costs, he's really great. At high costs, like even Thirda can start catching up to some extent, depending on how high cost you go. Because his verticals just aren't it. That's a more extreme example, but like the point stands. And then the main pushes, I mean, they just don't have this issue. Phanon has his broken ass E2, his broken ass S1, his refinements on his Lycone. He's gonna have soon E1 Sunday. He got free Nova Sparkle. He has E1 Ceridra. He's probably gonna be one of the first to get Nova'd among the Ampho units because he's a main push. That also gives you an advantage. Like, there are countless benefits towards being a main push. Countless. No, I can't get E2 Blade.
This is ridiculous. How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
Himiko is doing 40% better than full E2 Rem. She's at 100 million. For one, this is only possible with M-Blade sustainless. And you're comparing it to a sustained team. Right. That is for one. For two, in most case scenarios, you die. Those calcs are done with theory and usually not actual runs. They don't take into account practicality, how strong the enemies hit you, the probability of you dying. They just do a simulation for 300 AV and feed the information into some calculator. Right. I'm not, oh my fucking god. I'm not saying that Himiko isn't the strongest DPS in the game with a sustain. I'm saying it doesn't fucking matter. Because in a sustain team, even if she's stronger, she is stuck with Welt. And this comparison is being used with like E4 Welt. 99% of this player base does not have an E4 Welt. Okay? Let's just get that straight out of the way. 99% of people don't give a shit about this sustained calc for Himiko with the 50 million DPAV because they don't have E4 Welt, right? The other thing is she's stuck with RMC for now, alongside stuck with a standard character, alongside stuck with PT. Like, everybody on this team is dog shit to vertically invest into. Unapologetically trash. And while I do think she'll get a slight buff with Nova Sunday, and she may get a dedicated support at some point, none of this matters. Like, Silver Wolf just needs one speed buffer who's an elation character with their own elation skill and their own elation buffs to be on the same level as Sustain Himiko, if not even possibly stronger. If you don't include E4 Welt, it would not be difficult for this game to make Silver Wolf's premium sustain team stronger than Himiko's. Oh my god, man. Like, I just hate Doom posting. It's so over exaggerated in this game's community. Maybe a 10% gap is fine, but listen. Even if we assume Himiko gets a fully finalized team, and at high verticals, she's a bit stronger than the 3.x team. Ooh, surprise, surprise, right? Cassie or any of these, they're getting Nova'd in version 5. None of this matters. This is why I hate talking about. None of this matters. Phaedon is going to get Nova flared. Ceredra's going to get Nova'd. Cassie's going to get Nova'd in V5 to be stronger than Rob in SP. You know what I'm saying? Like, Himiko will be stronger than Mono Rem at high costs for legit 8 months, 9 months before Shield Cassie gets hit with a fat ass Nova. And then she's back to being stronger than Himiko. This is why none of this matters. Like, your 16 cost Mono Rem team is still gonna zero cycle, even if Himiko's is stronger. If you can't clear with this fatly ass invested 16 cost team in early V5 until your Cassie gets a Nova flare, quit the game. I'm still clearing with an E0 S1 Phaenon on my fucking Silver Wolf account. She's better than 3.x characters at 3 cost anyways. I'm not saying she isn't. I'm aware she's the new strongest DPS. But the point I'm standing on is like she is not going to be this untouchable level of DPS once this version finishes. People are comparing to like a half-ass Silverwolf, not realizing the advantages Silverwolf has over Himiko, such as bounce damage and significantly better vertical investments in her teammates. It's more reminiscent of a Cassie situation, right? Himiko is more reminiscent of a Phanon situation. Her Lycone's a huge jump. Her E1 and E2 are massive jumps on the level of Phanons. Her teammates, Eidolons, you know, uh, I mean, it's not great. Even if you're to assume she gets like Sunday Nova, I don't imagine outside of E1 Sunday getting reworked, the rest of his Eidolons suddenly become godlike or anything, right? That's what I think. I think Himiko at low costs will always be better than Silverwolf, the same way Phanon versus Cassie was, and even at like maybe up to 8 cost, Himiko will be better. But the more you invest, the better Silverwolf's team will be. Because now you're unlocking 260 speed when you get like E2 Yao Guang. You're getting significantly more certified banger, more elation skills, more speed, more damage, more aha instants, like 4 turns in one cycle, right? You're getting the extra turns from E2 Silverwolf, which now that she can reliably get the extra 2 turns every single time, that increases the value of her E2 as well, right? Like, that's all this is going to be. And then Nihilux, I bet my ass is going to be stronger than both of these two. Just knowing the way this game is. The last main push is usually the strongest, if they're a DPS. If Nihilux is a main DPS, then that's kind of the way I see it going. And then the follow-up team is probably going to be weaker than all three. But the thing is, I mean, it's going to be strong enough, so it's like, who cares, you know?
Checked off the list.
I don't think we should discuss a cost plus investment. I mean, once again, it's just up to the person who plays the account and the way they prefer to play. Like, yes, to you it doesn't matter, but to me, it does matter. Because if I really fuck with a character, I'm going all the way in. Like, I've done this E6 Anoxa, E6 Phanon, 10 cost mono rem team, and I'm even thinking of possibly picking up E1 Hyacine at some point. Silverwolf, I'm planning on getting E2 eventually, and Pearl and all this shit. It depends on the person and what they're looking for at the end of the day. If you prefer the low cost performance, then get Himiko. Okay? Or maybe Nihilux. Like, I don't know how fucking strong Nihilux or the follow up team is going to be when they're finished. Right? But I'm just going to say Himiko with the information we have now. The same way a ton of people chose like E2 S0 Faye. Because the guy's been doing the same 3 cost 0 cycles for the last year. Gilga? Gilga is good. Like, even at E0, not including his E1, which his E1 is really nice now, especially after the changes to his energy ult. Um, and considering his base is free, like E1 Gilga on an Ash Blade team is it's solid, man. It's pretty underrated.
Checked off the list.
Himiko is triple elations damage. No, she isn't. Brother. Oh my fucking god, the spreadsheet. That one fucking spreadsheet has done irreparable damage, man. Holy shit. It's like the people who see that one Twitter TC's infographics and then instantly fall for it every single time. I had to deal with that shit last time.
This is ridiculous. How come I keep bumping into colleagues?
Yeah, it's that sheet.
Checked off the list.
Personally, I'm skipping Elation Sustain. I don't even play them with one. I mean, good luck. I guarantee you, running a dedicated Elation Sustain will yield more damage than running Sustainless with anyone for Silver Wolf. It's just the way the Elation path works. Like, I've had to extend. Oh my god, I'm getting flashbacks at this point. People underestimate way, way too much how much just being Elation and interacting and synergizing with other Elation gimmicks adds value to a character. Right. The prime example of someone who went through this same Doom posting, oh, I don't see how they could be better than Sparkle. Right. I don't see how they could be that much. They probably won't even matter that much for Silver Wolf. Is Yao Guang. And Yao Guang is like literally holding up Elation with her back because of every single Elation gimmick that she interacts and synergizes with, despite the fact that her debuffs are fucking shit. We already have 4x Elation Sustainless teams and nobody cares? EMC? Or what? Are you comparing the weird ass mix up teams with Eva or EMC, who is quite something to say the least? They're saying 4x Elation is important and apparently it's not. Bro, you're comparing free MC to what is likely going to be another pillar on the same level as Yao Guang for supporting Silverwolf's team and a limited character with verticals. of people like to bring up sustainless. I've always talked about this. I will never bring up sustainless as the norm for a team unless you are a break team or you are Phanon. If you are not either of these two DPSs, I am not going to acknowledge your sustainless team as the norm that anybody can imitate. Because I know, like, even the people who use sustainless calcs for their agendas, right? Outside of Phanon and Break DPSs, I know that a majority of people who use those sustainless clears in the DPAV for it won't be running sustainless. You know? Like, they're just using it for their own agenda for the most part. That's usually how it goes. Like, someone will be like, oh, HOS did this. Go try and replicate what HOS did. It has not even that much to do with the actual strength of the character, but much more them retrying on a private server 50 different times to learn the perfect rotation against a specific enemy. Of course, the character allowing you to accomplish that is a feat, but the point is 99% of the player base can't replicate it. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like 90% of sustainless clears these days use a Cassie Global passive. Like, if a Cassie Global passive activates in a run, it should automatically add 1 cost. I don't care. This isn't even like a recent opinion. I've had this opinion since literally the release of Cassie. Oh, my fan. Still zero cycling with my E2 Fae? Nice. Was there a power creep in 3.0? Yeah. Thirda and Aglaya were stronger than every 2.x team. Except Fei Xiao, who could be better in MOC. And APOC. But like the thing is, Fei Xiao is like a pretty high skill ceiling character. Where like the more optimized relics you have on, like let's say Moze plus Fei Xiao, it becomes like exponentially stronger. So it's not as easily imitatable by the general player base Fei Xiao runs. But yeah. Like, these days, we talk about Thirda as if she's fucking dirt. But Thirda was the most valuable DPS when she dropped by a mile. And she was getting glazed by everybody. The thing is, like, a majority of the power creep that comes from new teams in HSR and V4 and why it looks so disgusting. The thing is, I promise you, it has nothing to do with the actual new limited characters at all. It's just Welt and his Nova Flare. Because now everybody can cheat cost, say that he's zero cost, get someone who amps stronger than Blade. Your team damage doubles if you have E4 Welt on your team, and it counts as zero cost. So before, like, okay, if Phanon could take advantage of E4 Welt, he would be significantly stronger than he currently is. If he could do like E2 Cyrene plus E4 Welt plus this and that, but he can't because of the way his ult works. It just doesn't work as well. But people who can abuse E4 Welt, like you see this number skyrocket, you know? Like look at Archer's team is one of the best examples of this. Archer is still holding on to Nova Sparkle. Rin, although a best in slot, it's not like she's game changing, right? She's like a normal dedicated support in terms of the jump she gives Archer. Archer's sustainless team does 60 million damage. 60 million DPAV. That's higher than every fucking team in the game except for Himiko. And it's all because he can take advantage well of E4 Welt. It's dumb. It's like, it's so fucking dumb. And then if you remove E4 Welt, it's like a vast drop. It goes from like 60 plus milli DPAV and like 300 AV to, or no, 60 million damage and 300 AV to like 30, which is more in line. Yeah, like this game giving so many freebies is making a ton of people lose their shit over the cost system. Because it's like, oh, we never expected this many freebies. Free Welt. Welt's in the golden token shop. Free Robin. Free Huo. Topaz is getting Nova'd soon, and Topaz is on the golden token shop. Topaz might even be something special too. Who knows? Right? Like, I mean, I'll take it. You know, free characters, but it's just added so much shit. How much better is Rin compared to RMC, Cypher, and Silverwolf? A significant amount. She's like 40+% better than any other option, I'm pretty sure, in the same slot. She has a bit of personal damage, high SP gen because of the joint attack that triggers every Archer turn. She has a little bit of side buffs for him as well. The joint attack for Archer, by the way, actually does like a good amount of damage in AoE. It's actually really nice. But yeah, like, this is why I say what I do. Do people really think that Archer sustainless is going to be stronger than Silverwolf, for example? You know? Like, bro, it's like decently unlikely, is all I'm gonna say. You can believe what you want to believe, but I mean, hey, maybe the Archer stocks go that hard that he stays as like the second strongest DPS in sustainless, and then Hima goes top one. Best aging 3.x DPS. Gabby, which power creep was the worst? Acheron's. Acheron has always been the worst. It's not close. People need to understand the difference between Acheron and a lot of these frauds these days. Acheron power crept the entire game on her own. Like, there's no, oh, I need Hyacine. Oh, I need this Elation team. Oh, I need these Astral Express members. There's none of that. You put her with a Pela. You put her with a Silver Wolf or a Gwynaifin. And she does more damage than fucking E2 Dill in his premium team. Himiko's doing it on her own? No, 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 no. No. We are not going to compare Pela and Gwynaifin to fucking RMC and Welt Nova. They are nowhere near the same in the power budget that they were given. And Welt's Nova was entirely dedicated towards being part of Himiko's team to begin with. She didn't have any of that. She had scraps. She had the dirt to work with. Look at who was on Himiko's team. What do you think she's supposed to do? Oh, I don't know. 50% plus true damage buffing, plus action advance, plus crit damage buffing, plus synergy with the Astral Express bond, plus a Welt who can double her entire team's damage. Meanwhile, Acheron is using fucking Gwynaifin, who barely does anything, and you're only using her to inflict dot to even get any stacks on her. And then Pela's just putting a bit of defense shred. No action advance, barely any synergy. Takes forever to get fucking stacks. And she was still stronger than the previous fucking flagship. That wasn't directed at you? Oh, I apologize. I sincerely apologize. Please forgive me. But yeah, Acheron was the worst. And then because they made Acheron so strong, then obviously, like, everybody else who came after, they tried to make around that power level. And yeah. I have a question about Emblade. Does he still need Von Whack for first turn ult? I wouldn't bother, to be honest. I'd rather just run him on his normal HP set so that his damage is significantly higher. Because trying to action advance him for a first ult doesn't usually like make that much of a difference, in my opinion. Like, it's just not really worth it. Can you talk about how Hoyo fumbled Cypher? Brother, I had like 4 videos going on during Cypher's beta, basically mourning the fact and like how pissed I was that they weren't improving her kit. You want to know what the feedback mainly was back then? Oh, the record true damage makes her future proof because the stronger future DPSs are, the more the recorded true damage is gonna do. Wow. She's so future so strong, right? It's not actually like this record true damage gimmick is complete bullshit and stronger supports over time would become significantly more valuable. But no, everybody needs to glaze Cypher. Oh, she can bypass Flame Reaver's damage reduction. Wow. What a must pull for Archer. Wow. Like, I had countless crash out videos just absolutely spiting Hyacine because it made no sense that a sustain was doing more sub DPS damage than the fucking actual sub DPS. In this game, if you don't power creep half the roster, you're dead on arrival. Uh, Not really. Once again, I feel like this entire thing is so over exaggerated, and it just doesn't matter that much anymore because of Nova Flares. And vertical investment has also hit like a peak. You get E2 Evanesia, your team is twice as strong. You get E2 Silverwolf, your team is twice as strong. You get E2 Emblade, follow up is twice as strong. You get E2 Himiko, she's twice as strong. You know? I don't think it's that big of a deal because of the existence of Nova Flares, personally. Oh, for sure, really. Like, the recorded true damage being able to bypass is cool, but also, there's like, there's also the weird interaction where, for example, if you use E1 Tribby, right, with Cypher, or RMC with Cypher, true damage done by characters on the team won't count towards her true damage record. So in some cases, if you're getting buffed by true damage from someone else while Cypher's on the team, then you're not actually even getting the full effect of her record. Like, it's nerfed. Which is like, why? You know? Yeah, I know, really. That's like the main thing with her. If you can kill wave one fast enough, you just brute force it. But the thing is, like, it's just not too worth it these days. Like, M-Blade is so much stronger of an amper alongside way higher personal damage and significantly better verticals that he can probably just brute force being the better support. on like almost every team that uses Cypher. But to be fair, that's M-Blade. Like, M-Blade is M-Blade. He's basically just an E4 Welt in a limited character. How did Blade escape beta like that? Because of Welt. Nova, Sparkle, and Welt existing. They had to make Blade that good. That's another thing, like, I'm getting people in the comments of my previous video where I talk about how it's likely that the Saber Gilga team isn't finished yet because they're going to be able to benefit from Nova Sunday. They're like, oh, how do you know this? How do you know Nova Sunday won't be a Huo situation? Like, what do you mean Sunday is going to be a Huo Nova situation? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I feel like I'm gonna enter the days of Yao Guang beta all over again, man. I'm a bit worried about Nova Sunday with all the loops caused by energy supports in this beta. You can't really do a loop with Sunday. It's different with characters like Saber, Gilga, and Blade because they have ways of gaining energy that's like outside of their turn and outside of their actions. But like Sunday takes fucking forever to regenerate his ult, and Huohuo also takes quite a while to regenerate her ult. So I don't really see, personally, I don't see any infinite ult loop shenanigans going on there. Like, that's the problem that a lot of these newer characters have and why these infinite ult loops exist. A ton of them have like random ass traces that will feed them energy in some random bullshit place. You know, Ashvale has it, M-Blade has it with attack frequency equals follow up equals more energy. Gilga has it, allies when they ult gives him more energy. Saber has it. Like, that's the issue with these infinite ult loop things, you know? In Himiko's case, the reason she can infinite ult loop is because certain characters on her team taking action can allow her mech to do follow-ups and then she gains more energy. You know, like, that's the issue. That's why they're getting all these fucking infinite ult loops, is because they're making a ton of passive buffs that all these characters have. And they're not like thinking about the future of like, oh, what if I want to revisit this archetype but make an upgrade and then there's some fucking infinite ult loop now. But Sunday does not have this issue. At least not with his current kit. I think they could easily make sure he doesn't do any infinite ult loop shit. Sunday doesn't have it. Huohuo doesn't have it. I don't think it'll cause any issues. It's kind of like what introduced this really? It has to be Cassie, right? Like Cassie getting passive gen from her allies being attacked and as well as consuming HP. This is probably what started their fucking boner for making characters who have like this passive synergy with their best teammates. Tribby was the first one. Oh yeah, that's true. It would be Tribby because she gains so much energy from allies. Like you had the Argenti shit going on back then when she had a unlimited follow-up spam. But yeah, like early V3 was when they started taking interest in like all these passive buffs on like DPSs and characters, which is why you now have the stuff you do now. Avon, I don't like hot take. I don't think Avon is like he's gonna have follow ups, but I don't think he's gonna be like hard follow up oriented. You know, I think he might be more similar to a Gilga situation, where the follow ups are like a smaller part of his kit, and then his ult counts as a follow up, and he's mainly an ult damage character for the follow up team, like Gilga, but just better. Better verticals, more dedicated, better synergy. That's my opinion. Because if they go all out on follow up attack frequency, like an M Blade esque kit, then I can't see any way of them avoiding a loop. Like, I just don't see it. Because, like, just imagine frequent follow ups from Avon DPS. You have Ashvale's follow ups. You have Blade's follow ups, and especially if you have his E2. And now you run Sustainless with, like, Tribby or something, right? Like, Blade is not going to stop doing follow up attacks if you make Avon way too follow up attack oriented. His punchline can be built up from Fua? Maybe, yeah. We'll see how his kit goes. Never. Like, it's just not gonna happen. I have no faith. This game hasn't released a single limited Shota. Like, that shit's never happening. This isn't Genshin. Is this the most chaotic beta in the history of HSR? Chaotic, no. Not chaotic. Like, it has the most, like, weird shit going on. But chaotic would imply, like, the communities losing their marbles and losing their shit. The most chaotic is probably Phenon's beta. That doesn't mean it's the worst. But it was probably Phenon's. I still think Yao Guang's was the worst by a mile for me personally, because of how much misinformation going around. But, like, In Yao Guang's case, it was misinformation. But in Phaenon's case, it was the husbando mains absolutely fucking losing their minds. And just like being like, yo, why is Phaenon not power creeping Mono Rem Cassie? I don't care if he doesn't have Ceredra. I don't care if he doesn't have Cyrene. I don't care if he doesn't have PT. Why is he not beating a full best in slot Cassie team with just Branya and RMC? And then I remember making a video where like I tried having a genuine conversation with these guys because some of them were suggesting shit like, oh, he shouldn't consume any AV in his ultimate. Like, Phaenon would be the strongest DPS today if they did that bullshit, by the way. But I explained to them why this would obviously not be a good thing. And then they wrote me an entire paragraph about how they don't care because they hate waifus. They hate the waifu favoritism. They hate how neglected husbando characters are in this game. And they started like going fucking wild, bro. They started talking some crazy shit. So yeah, Phaenon's was the most chaotic in my opinion. Yeah, like here's the thing. It's just so funny that like of all games you choose to be like, "Oh, this game treats men in the meta terribly." You choose HSR. Like this is probably the only Hoyo gacha game who treats men meta wise the same as the woman. Like there's no fucking difference. Now, women do tend to be main pushes more often than men, yes, but like they've done a male main push with Phaenon and they've shown what they can do, you know? It's just like they're obviously going to release more women because they make more money off it. That's just how it's going to be. You're not going to get the 50-50 ratio. Yeah, you have like Blade, you have Ashvale, you have Free Gilga upcoming, who's just an amazing free DPS. You have Archer, who's still in like the top 5 DPSs in the entirety of the game over a year later, and like the majority of his team is still free. Like you can go on with how many good male characters there are in this game. And Sunday's gonna get a Nova soon. You can bet your ass that Sunday will, at the minimum, be as meta relevant as Sparkle. I'd argue more, because he's gonna be a buff for Himiko, and he'll probably be a buff for Saber Gilga. Phaenon made more money than any main push other than Acheron? Not necessarily. With the entire patch, he did, but that was because of the fake characters being released alongside him. When you look at like the warp count, there's like this website that keeps track of warp counts. Phaenon is not in the top 2. I think the top 2 is Acheron Firefly. But like Acheron is like a really high gap. Like she has her own type of thing going on there. I think it's either Acheron Firefly or Acheron Castris. But like those are the top 3. And then I think Phaenon might be 4th. warp counts don't make up its revenue. No, but like the point is the warp count data is significantly more reliable than the revenue data. Because revenue data is usually attributed towards all banners going on at once. And it's also not even always like completely accurate and usually guesstimates by these websites. Like you need to understand, there was not only the fake collab characters, but there was a Sunday and Tribby rerun at the same time. Like there was quite a few meta and anticipated characters on Phenon's patch. But Phenon still did really well. Like I'm pretty sure he's like top 4 or top 5 most pulled on character in the history of the game. I'm just saying that. I grew bored of my Phenon. I mean, that's not really a surprise. Most people complain about his gameplay getting boring after a while. The thing is, I'm someone who can appreciate a fun team with a decently high skill ceiling and also appreciate someone as brain dead as Phenon. So I don't have any. Almost choked on it. I can appreciate both sides. What are you eating? Crackers. Also, Phenon's my favorite character in any gacha. So yeah, there's also that bias. Share with the class? Hell no. I barely got any left. How many do I have left? 4. 4 crackers left. You guys aren't getting any. Is there any waifu that surpasses Phenon for you? In terms of how much I legit care about them, no. But in terms of like how hot I find them, yeah. Quite a few. I didn't expect that. I'm someone who's able to separate my goon antics and my appreciation for a character's like story, writing, and other stuff. So the reality is, like, I prefer quite a few of the dudes writing wise in this game over some of the other characters. That's just how it is. Sparkle is up there in terms of the woman. that I care about in this game, writing wise. And the first thing that comes to mind isn't necessarily HSR when it comes to a girl I really care about in a gacha game story. It's Cart from Wua. Do you like Himiko Nova design wise or meta wise? Uh, I like her meta wise because she has an incredibly cheap team for now that performs quite well, and she's an E2 merchant as well, if you mean in that sense. Design wise, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm neutral on it. And then gameplay wise, I don't know. Like her ult feels so boring. Like the follow up is cool as shit, but her ult just feels boring. I don't know what it is. Like it looks cool, but it feels ass, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly, Mega Man. Like I see people stuck on the ult's attack for like 10 plus seconds. Like that shit takes forever, bro. It's actually longer than any of Phaenon's attack animations, which is a crazy feat. But I like the follow up. Like 100%. Like the follow up she has for like the members when they take their turns and stuff. I think that looks so satisfying. I genuinely enjoy that part of her gameplay. I've talked about it before though, like if we're gonna talk about the ult, I think Firefly is still my favorite like quote unquote mecha character. Like the way they did it for Firefly with like an enhanced state and it feels like she's fully in control and it's a little more simple. I prefer that over Himiko's ult. I think I got burnt out of the animations. Nothing feels nearly as good as Phaenon's. Yeah. Phaenon was a crazy, crazy time when his shit got leaked. Like, bro, Phaenon leaks. Like, I don't like him at all. Like, Phaenon leaks had like Tectone and Gotcha Smack and like the official HSR CCs just openly looking at the leaks. Like, it was a wild time with Phaenon. Like people were referring to him as like HSR Jesus. Oh yeah, Phaenon also has like one of the best trailers in the entire game. Explosion slop. I understand where people get that sentiment, but you know, it is what it is. Like, if you don't want explosion slop, just get a non-main push. That's basically how it is. Explosion slop is like usually just a main pushes. On like, you have Sirene's like planet busting basic attack, or like ult attack, I should say. Um, you have Phaenon's meteor, Castor's dragon. You have, what's that thing that Silverwolf does on her elation skill? And the end of her EBA. The thing is, though, Silverwolf changes it up enough, in my opinion, for the explosion animation to not really, you know, bother you that much, is the thing. Like, Silverwolf has enough unique shit going on to kind of cover it. Yeah. Uh, okay, so what am I pulling on this account again? I forgot. Gilga? Ooh. I might not pull E1 Gilga yet. Because I might be looking for like an Eva E2. Because the fake collab banners last forever, it might be better to prioritize her E2 because she'd rerun in like 4.5 or 4.6. And then Blades E2 as well. So that's a total of like 3 cost over some patches saving. Are you pulling Avon? No. I'm gonna invest on Gilga with the Asham Blade team. Which is why I care about E2 Blade so much. Because it's really important for Gilga. Will you pull Himiko on one of your acts? Yeah, I already said I would. My Anoxa account. Because I don't want to waste my Phaenon on it. My Anoxa account has an E0 Welt, and it has a Sunday. Which is literally, like, even if Sunday isn't optimal currently, there's no one on my Anoxa account using RMC. So I can use the RMC Welt core, which is what she uses currently, and then Donhung PT. I can run my Anoxa sustainless with Cyrene, Tribby, and Ceridra, and then I can run Archer with Sparkle, Rin, Huohuo. And those would be the 3 teams I have on that account. What about Sunday? Wait till the Nova? I'm not going to use someone who's worse than RMC on purpose. Got me fucked up. Or if I want to like have a little fun, I might put Sunday on a Himiko team just so I can run a sustainless Cyrene RMC team with a Noxa for like fun. Because that's when you get into old action advanced shenanigans and like zero cycles being optimized with him and stuff. But when I'm normally playing, yeah. One more thing that makes me appreciate Phanon is that his gameplay is simply ludo-narratively resonant. I see. I agree. I felt that same way. When is the My Day Nova? uh, nice one. My Day's getting skipped for a Phanon Nova Flare. Oh my god. They're gonna skip his ass to instantly Nova Faye. Oh, I can already see it. Oh, please let that happen. Bro, that Phanon Nova Flare is gonna hit like crack. The only thing that like leaves me a little confused about a Phanon Nova is like, do you even buff his early verticals? Like E1 is an easy buff in my opinion. You just need to remove this restriction so he can get the massive base speed buff against like MOC stuff instead of this being highly reliant on bullshit like Pure Fiction. But like what if they buff his E2? Think about that. Cuz like most of these DPSs after getting Nova get their E2 buffed. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean that's mostly because he has a pretty simple kit. His flaws are obvious, his strengths are obvious. He gets easily buffed by any support. He doesn't really need dedicated ones. Like he's just kind of a happy-go-lucky guy. Like he doesn't hate anybody. He works with everyone. I think the Novas are canceled. No. Just because they're not in a 4.5 data mine doesn't mean they're canceled. But it's just likely that they're in 4.6. Ceredra and Cypher are the first Ampho Nova flares? Probably not. The first Ampho Nova Flare is probably gonna be Thirda. I don't see Cypher being like Cypher was the lowest selling character in the entirety of Ampho. I don't think they care about Cypher that much. Wouldn't it make sense to release this Sunday Nova during Himiko banner? Well, no. It doesn't really make a difference. Because, as you can see, Himiko is dropping as the strongest DPS anyways, and it doesn't even matter. But, if you put the Novas in 4.6, which by the way, should be when Pearl releases, to be an upscale for Silverwolf, guess what they can do? They can balance Sunday's Nova to make sure that Himiko isn't too much stronger than Silverwolf. And then they can also balance Pearl around how strong Sunday Nova is for Himiko to make the teams more even. It just makes their life easier in balancing those two main pushes if they put them on the same patch. Why would they place a Nova in 4.6 since it's not a main push patch? Brother, what correlation is there to Nova flare patches and main push patches? Nova, Sparkle, and Swan was on 4.0. No, they aren't. Brother. 4.0 is a big patch. What? How do you just go from main push patches to big patch? Hey, who knows, man? Maybe you're right. What's your opinion on Sparksy? I don't care. I don't even have her on my own Elation account yet, so it doesn't affect me. And I haven't played Silverwolf in forever because I've been focused on these other new accounts. So, I don't even know like how to play Silverwolf optimally. Like, I legit pulled Silverwolf and then never used her. Or I used her once. And I never used her again. When is Triby Nova Flare? Never. It's more likely that she gets added to the golden token shop in like 5.x somewhere than that she gets a Nova. Alright, chat. It's gotten late enough for me at this point. I hate you. Like, I've been meaning to get this off my chest. I hate you guys, okay? I hate all of you. None of you deserve my thanks. None of you deserve my gratitude. I hope you all have terrible days. I hope you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I hope you stub your toe against the door when you're trying to walk to the bathroom. Don't have a good day. Peace out.